Hello goat lovers, Crystal here with Blue Cactus Dairy Goats, and today we have a really big day because I got to get all 28 of my does on this stand to give them their copper, their selenium, trim their hooves, and get them wormed because we are getting ready for breeding. Alright, we're going to do this from oldest to youngest in the herd, and our oldest doe is Miss Lacey here. She is an awesome doe. She is one of our foundation does. We did retire her last year. Year before last, actually. She gave us her last kid, who was Legend, and we decided at that point she just wasn't going to have any more babies. She had kind of like a prolapse situation going on, and luckily everything worked out really well. But you could also tell in her back legs during that labor, she just wasn't taking that labor very good at all. And she's a good doe. She's given us lots of beautiful, beautiful babies. So we just decided to retire this pretty old grandma out. And I think she's satisfied with that. What do you think? Yeah, she's a little grumpy with me right now. But first off, we're going to do to all of the does is trim their hooves. I always want to make sure that they have a really good, really good feet, you guys. It's really important to make sure that they're standing on a good foundation. And if you let it get too far out of hand, it can really affect the whole rest of their body if they're not able to comfortably walk on their feet. So I'm going to show you how that's done real quick. I know for a lot of people it can be intimidating to trim a hoof for the first time. I know it was for me, and me and my husband used to just kind of both do it together just to help each other out, because you don't want to take too much. You don't want to make them lame to where they're, limping and can't walk. But honestly, you can take more than you would actually think. Now, Lacey here, one of the reasons I love this doe so much is because she's got the most amazing feet, and she passes it on to her kids too. And again, guys, I'm not going to have a goat that I can show you real whacked out hooves because I am trimming them all the time. I want to make sure that they're always really nice and good. And Lacey here, again, just has super awesome feet. So I know, girl, let me do it. Let me do it. It's okay. You just want to make sure that you take just a little bit at a time, because you can always take more, but you can't go back, can't put it back on. So you just kind of chip away at it little by little. And you can see the obvious, and sometimes, like I said, Lacey has good feet. It seems like the lighter hooved goats, they are the ones whose hooves grow a lot quicker. And Lacey has the darker hooves, so they don't grow as fast as, say, Elsa's hooves. But sometimes you'll get them where they'll kind of curl over a little bit. And it's pretty obvious what needs to be taken off. So that hoof there is good. We're good to go on this one. So I'll just show you guys a back one. The front ones are typically shorter because that's where they're pawing. And then the back ones, see, have a little bit of curl to them because they're not pawing the ground with their back ones. Hold on, girl. Grandma is grouchy today. Okay, I want to even that out. So even right here, you guys can take some of that pad, the heel. If it's, getting thicker back here than it should be, you can take some of that. Just like that, guys. Alright, so next up is Skye, aka Big Montana. Now this doe here is a half-sister to Lacey. They actually have the same sire or the same father, and she is 10 years old as well. So she's just a few months younger than Lacey. So she's up there in age too. I am going to breed her simply because she's still strong and healthy and everything, and I'm hoping that she takes, because last year she didn't. If a goat gets overweight too much, it is actually really hard for them to get bred. Now we've been really lucky with Skye because we bought her and she was a big girl. The deal is that Lacey and Skye had to go together. I really only wanted Lacey, but glad we got Skye in it because she is a beautiful doe. She's got some really great genetics. However, Again, she didn't take last year, so we have been putting her on a diet. It doesn't look, I mean, maybe a little, she's lost a little bit of weight, but it's really hard to get weight off of a goat. And we're hoping she gets bred this year. So we are going to be giving her selenium. So this here is just selenium and vitamin E paste. All our goats get it every month. So about every 30 days, I have it in my calendar that they need their selenium. And it's a vital mineral. It helps for reproduction, it helps for reproducing, it helps them carry babies full term, it helps with their urinary system, it helps with their muscle system, so all kinds of things. So selenium is very, very important for them to have. So again, I just give them 5 cc's, pump it into their mouth once a month, and you're good to go. They make the silliest faces when you give them selenium. This gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous doe here is May. She is 8 years old, which I don't like the sound of at all. She is one of our best does. She's, of course, another foundation doe, another doe that we have really, really built our herd around, retained a lot of kids from. She is our champion doe. She's just, I just love, love, love this doe's conformation. She's pretty ornery as far as personalities are concerned. She was a bottle baby, but only she was dam raised for 6 weeks, and then we purchased her and bottle fed her for another couple weeks. So she's not wild, she's not crazy or nothing, but she just, if she's not in labor, she's just like, leave me alone. But once she goes in labor, she's like, where are you, Mom? Aren't you? Yeah, so she's a good girl. Last year she had one giant buckling, and it was a really, really hard labor. The buckling did not make it, and you know, she was hurting for a little while after that, but she's good. So again, she's getting up there in age, and I kind of feel like I'm going to be stingy with her kids. We'll just have to see, but we'll have to see what hits the ground, huh? She is just a beauty. I love, love, love May. And May here is going to show you guys how we give copper. So back here's the copper. I use Ultra Cruise. It works really well. Now what it is just a capsule full of all of these copper rods. That's it. So this is the 4 gram that I use for the adults, and then at 6 months of age, I give all kids a 2 gram, and it's just a little bit smaller. So, and then once they turn a year, because this will, in theory, it lasts 6 months, but just keep an eye on your animals, of course. If you see any signs of copper deficiency, any fishtail, any discoloration on the back legs, or anything like that. And some of our goats are getting it a little bit. It's popping up a little bit, so it's definitely time. But we're right on track to when we typically copper, so right before breeding. So this is called a balling gun. Now, I've already done a few goats, so it's already got the peanut butter in it. But this is a tool that I use, and I'm just going to put some peanut butter in the end of this, because that hole is actually bigger than the capsule. And that just helps it stick. And the goaties love the peanut butter taste. This is not their favorite thing to be done, because you actually have to put this down into their throat. You have to let them open up, and it kind of goes back in there, and then you punch the gun down, and then that pill will be in the back of their throat so that they actually swallow it, and then it's gonna get the weight of the pill will actually get it down to that bottom chamber, and all those little copper rods will then, you know, the capsule will dissolve and the copper rods get lodged into the stomach lining. That way they don't regurgitate it and so forth. So, and then it'll just give them a 6-month slow release of copper. So that is what we're gonna do now. Again, this is not their favorite thing to get done. Come here, baby. You gotta kind of put them in a headlock. There's really no pretty way of doing this. You gotta force their mouth open. Get it to the back of their throat, just kind of slowly twisting it. They're gonna fight you. And you can feel it when they open. Like right now, she's not opening her throat yet. Hold on, baby. It's all right. Okay, now she did. Now you punch it down and just kind of twist it out. All right, girl. There. Thank you. I know. Now, that might look brutal, but it's not. I mean, it doesn't hurt them. They don't like it. It's uncomfortable by, you know, absolutely. But it is very important for them to have it. You know, it helps with their central nervous system and just the overall health of the goat, period. Copper is a very important mineral. Huh. Yes. And if they're copper deficient, it could affect their getting pregnant and bred as well. So, you did it. You did it. Good job. Now we have Ornery Dawn. Dawn here is 7 years old. She actually just turned 7 in September. So just last month, you're eating your beard, baby. That's gross. That's okay. So last month, she turned 7. So she's also getting up there in age. And it's so weird when that starts happening because it's like it just feels like yesterday they were born. And Dawn was born with us. She is a blue cactus goat, our herd name. But she wasn't a bottle baby. And her mom was Dream. And she was crazy. She was very, very crazy. And we, at this point, didn't separate and bottle feed. So because of that, Dawn, you know, doesn't like a lot of affection. She won't let me love her. She won't. Ain't that right, Dawn? But she's been a good girl. She is just stunning. Really, really beautiful doe. And man, she has beautiful babies. So Dreamer is one of those babies, huh? With the perfect heart. So that's one of her daughters that we retained. But yeah, so this little girl, again, she just doesn't want me loving on her, that's all. But other than that, she's a good girl, huh? So she needs her shot. Now her wormer. Now I use injectable. I'm not going to tell you guys the name brand. If you want to see the name brand or what we use, go ahead and click here, and how we administer that for that matter, just simply so we're not censored, huh, Dawn? You guys probably know what I'm talking about if you know what wormer I'm using. For the goats. For the goats. So anyway, what we're going to do, I do like to make sure that they are wormed before we breed. I don't like giving them anything, chemicals or you know, any poisons, if you will. And this wormer that is what it is. So while they're pregnant, I don't want to interfere with the growth or potential anything happening to the babies or the mama. So we just always make sure we get that done before we start breeding, and I like to do it a couple weeks out. So always, this is something I'm doing all the time anyway, just to check. I'm going to show you guys how to check their FAMANCHA. And it's just going to show if they're anemic to a heavy worm overload. Now their FAMANCHA is the inside of their eyelid, and it should be a really, really beautiful dark rosy pink. So it should never be super pale. If it's pale, it's bad, bad, bad. And that means they're quite anemic. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it. It's an easy thing to do. Oh, you're probably not the best to show. Okay, so you're going to pull that eyelid down and lightly push in the eyeball so it pops out that eyelid. You are being such a good girl, Dawn. And so she's not bad, but that is not the dark rosy that I like to see. So I am definitely gonna give her a dose of wormer. Ain't that right? So another thing I'm always doing too, the wormer I use, it's awesome for external and internal parasites. So I see people ask all the time, what do you do? I got lice, I got, you know, whatever. Bugs, you know, parasites, external parasites. And if I see lice or anything on them, I give them a shot, and it's literally gone in just a few days. They're all dead, so I love it. So I also check for external parasites, which this time of year, we don't really have issues. She's looking good to go. It's usually in the spring is when it's like, oh, we got some lice issues. So, you know, check their chest. They like to hide under there. So she's getting wormed anyway, even if she did have them, there would be no issue, but because we're gonna worm her. But yeah, so anyway, guys, if you want to see how that's administered and the brand that we actually use, click there. This lovely lady here is Little Bit. She is 6 years old, and she is the first kid, her and Lucky actually, because Lucky is a full brother to Little Bit here. They were the first kids we kept out of Lacey, so she is a Lacey daughter. She actually earned her milk star on a one-day milk test as a first freshener, so the first time she had babies. So that was, and she knocked it out of the park. So she is just an amazing milk producer. She's got a really, really lovely udder that is just glued to her like it should be. And of course, she's a Lacey daughter, so I really, really love this girl. She's not one of the lap goats either. She does like to just kind of be off on her own. She'll like a scratch every once in a while, but other than that, she's just kind of likes to be to herself. So, but she is a really good girl. You know, again, awesome genetics in this one, so I love Little Bit. And here we have Elsa. Now Elsa we bought a few years back, shortly after we moved to this property. More land, I wanted more goats. So Elsa was one of the first that we purchased to increase the herd. And we did buy her bred, which was also a good thing. So it was blood lines that were completely unrelated to what we had. And we kept her son, who is Everest. And Everest is a really, really good buck, isn't he? You had a good baby for us, didn't you? Now Elsa here is definitely the herd queen. She's just mean, kind of just mean to the other goats. She likes to just kind of ram you and get you on the side when you're not looking for no reason. Huh, Elle? You can even see it all over her face. Ain't that right? You're just ornery, huh? But she's a good girl. Now, a lot of you have seen me say that I want a Swiss doe out of Elsa. A Swiss doe is, and asking what is a Swiss doe? It is just their coat pattern. It's so you can Google it or search it up, but it's just a really, really cool coat pattern that I don't have in the herd. And Elsa carries the gene, but she will only have boys with it so far. So I'm hoping next kidding I get that Swiss doe. Up next is Roxy. This here, her real name is actually Morocco, but we decided to call her Roxy. About a year and a half ago, approaching 2 years really, we purchased, there was just a really, really good deal on some really amazing lines. We knew that they were skittish, if you will. We call them the crazies, if you guys have been around that long, and she was one of them. But she was the most tame out of all of them, and she's just got such a great, beautiful udder. So I did not want to get rid of her. I wanted to keep her around a little bit and see if we separated her from the other skittish goats that she's clicking with, because they came from the same farm, if she would do better. And she has. She's doing really well. Now this goat will never, ever be a lap goat. She's never going to want to come up to you all the time and get pet by her. She has her moments, but she definitely, I mean, she's doing really, really good. She's adapting well into the herd, like she's one of them. So I'm really, really happy with it. And here we have Maddie. Her papered name is actually Made You Look, but we just nickname her Maddie. That's her ranch name, if you will. Now, Maddie here is the first doe we were able to keep out of May. So it was May's third kidding, and she had this beautiful, beautiful doe. And I just knew that I wanted to keep her from the second she was born. They just stand there. Sometimes you have one that's born and you just know. They're just solid right off the get as a brand new newborn. And Maddie was one of those does. So she is very, very bonded with her mother, May. They actually share the same birthday of February 28th as well. And they were both in the herds, the fourth born for that particular year. So kind of funny, but yeah, they are very bonded. They stick together. Maddie at this point, when she was born, because she's 5 years old, we didn't pull at birth like we do now, pull early after birth rather, and bottle feed. So she was dam raised, and so she she acts like she's damn raised. She's not the friendliest, or as far as with people, except for Emily. Emily is her person. She trusts Emily full-heartedly, and Emily's never had to give her a shot, so she knows that Emily's only gonna give her treats and lovin's, huh? She's a good girl. Beautiful though. This lovely girl here is Miss Cami. Now, Cami was named after me. So with a C. Her mom rejected her. She had another sister that was born with her, and that sister was solid black and white, kind of looked like Daisy, but now Daisy's a chocolate. But either way, she looked a lot like her mom, and Cami was a buckskin and looked completely different than the two, and I believe that might be why she rejected her. But either way, her mom was not nice to her, and I had to take her in as a bottle baby and be her mama, and slowly incorporate her into the herd, huh, girl? So because of that, Cami has just a really, really funny personality. You know, one of the exceptions to the rules. You always got to have 2 goats and so forth. She's a loner. She likes to definitely just hang out by herself. When all the other does are browsing in a group, you'll see her like, all right, you guys are over here. I'm gonna wander off over here by myself. So she's just really, really funny. Just a doll, just a sweetheart. So I love Cami. Cami is definitely a family favorite, except for they're all my favorites because that's how that happens. But yeah, love Cami. And Cami she's the last 5-year-old that we have. So we got 4 5-year-olds in this herd, and you're the youngest 5-year-old, huh? Beautiful girl. So next up is Shelly. She's not looking very happy about this right now. Are you good, girl? Are you good? She knows what's about to happen. This is her first rodeo. But yeah, so Shelly was the first doe that was born on this property. She was a gorgeous doe. She still is a very gorgeous doe. It is a daughter of Skye. So, you alright, girl? She is definitely in her older age, because Skye, until she got old, she was actually a very, very dominant doe. Now that she's a little bit older and you know, she's calmed down, not wanting to fight everybody as much, and Elsa's kind of taken that seat. But Shelly definitely, she takes after her mama in that manner, so she can sometimes be a little ornery to the other animals, huh? To the other goaties. Yeah. She's a good girl though. So now we have Smack and Lily. Oof. Seriously, girl. This here is Lily. She is a very, very lovely doe. I love you, Lily. And she was the second doe born just a couple weeks after Shelly, actually. So she's the second one born here on this property. And we did obviously retained her, and I'm very glad I did, because she is just lovely. I love you. She is just a really, really good doe all around. She's very sweet. She used to be best friends with Shelly, actually, but when we separated them for breeding with 2 different bucks, when we put them back together, they were never really best friends again. So they are half sisters. They have the same daddy, which is Champ. And yeah, she's just a really good doe. And she's also a daughter of Lacey, and she is the mama of Lodi. So up next here is pretty Mayo. Now Mayo here is also a daughter out of, hey, I want to look over? A daughter out of May, and her sire is Lucky. So she's a full sister to Maddie. But this girl here, she is a spitting image of her mama as far as body conformation is concerned, and udder and everything. They really, really, really look alike. Now they are not bonded because she was a bottle baby, so they're not bonded like May and Maddie, but she is a real sweet doe. I just love this doe, and she did so good in the ring this year. She actually has 2 of her champion legs and just needs 1 more, which I have no doubt she's gonna earn next year. Ain't that right, pretty? Gorgeous doe. Love her. All right, now on to Cassie here. Now, Cassie is a lovely, lovely doe. Of course, I'm going to say it about all of them because they all are. But Cassie is a daughter of Cami, and her daddy is Champ. So not only does she come from some really amazing, outstanding lines, she is our first goat to have blue eyes, which I love. She's polled, meaning naturally hornless, so she doesn't grow horns. And she's moon spotted. Moon spot is just a circular spot on the animal that's a different coloration, and it can't be white or on white. Now, all three of those things are just sought after traits in the Nige world for a lot of people, just because they're flashy, they're pretty, they're fun to look at. But never are they more important than the actual body conformation and the udder of the animal. So she has it all, this pretty little girl. So all right, so this young lady here is 2 years old. This here is Aveline. Now Aveline is one of the sweetest goats. She is my baby. She's Miss Aveline, aren't you? She is a big baby and just a doll. She's really sweet to all the goats. She doesn't like any trouble. Just super awesome temperament in this one here. And she's lovely. She has really large teeth, really super awesome udder. Cannot wait to see her third freshen. It just seems to be when they blossom at 3 years old. So you'll see them, they look really nice, and then all of a sudden 3 is like, bam, that's an awesome senior dairy goat. If the genetics are right anyway. So anyway, she's a really sweet doe, and she looks a lot like Cassie out in the field. We always mix them up. So their coloration is a little bit the same when they're far away. So Cassie's more of a gray, but she has kind of like a grayish brown, and their eyes are the same, obviously. And then they got the white on their bodies. So sometimes they're easy to mix up out in the field. Now we have finally made it halfway. We got half of the girls done. So we are on number 15 here. This here is Lodi. Most of you probably already know that. She is the tiny little spitfire of the herd. She takes no crap, never has. Even when she was a quarter of her size, she would still try to fight and hold her own. So she is just really funny. She's not too fond of any other goats, but she does love her people. So she's got this look on her face all the time. This I will fight you look on her face all the time, and she means it. That's what she's literally thinking all the time. Oh, girl, what was that weird stuff you're doing? She's a good girl. And now hi. And now we're on to Maybelline. Maybelline here is a daughter of Mayo, granddaughter of May, and just a stunning, gorgeous doe. And she's just a sweetie. She's just a doll baby, aren't you? She's just like a baby. She's so sweet. Now, she is the one that got the leg injury quite a few months back, and it just kind of was a slight limp at first, and then kind of progressed, and now it is seemingly getting better. On some days, it's like you can hardly even tell, and she'll put a lot of pressure on it, and so forth. Now, it's something she's never even ever acted like hurt her in any way, shape, or form. You can hold it, you can bend it, you can do whatever you want with it. Whatever you want with it. The vet did it for like 45 minutes too, and she doesn't care. So it's really kind of just an odd injury. It does make her, she's losing muscle over here on this right side, just simply because she's not using it as much as she's using her left one, and then her left one, she's overcompensating and so forth. But all in all, I mean, she's doing fine. Again, it doesn't hurt. Now she's putting pressure on it. You see? So sometimes she does, and sometimes she doesn't. At this point, because it does look like it's getting so much better, I'm wondering if she's just so used to dangling it up in the air. Are you copying me? Are you? But yeah, so she's doing really good. I'm not worried about it. I think she's gonna be fine to breed. She's a good, healthy, strong doe, and she is a 1-year-old. And here is Dreamer. Now, Dreamer here is just a lovely doe. Subscribers, you guys actually helped name her, chose the name. We did a tally. It was out of all of the names you guys had, selected, the most popular ones. So then we did a poll, and Dreamer was the name that was chosen, which is funny because Dreamer here actually looks a lot like her grandma, Dream. She is a daughter out of Dawn, and she has a perfect heart on her right side, and she was born with it. And so it was actually kind of funny because you see, the babies will be born with hearts sometimes, and they go away. You know, they get bigger, their hair grows longer, and she has kept her heart, and she is a year old, a year and a half rather. So I thought, like, when I take her to the show or have to shave her down, I'm just gonna go right around that heart because I don't want to mess it up and never have it grow back again. But Dreamer is also Maybelline's best friend. Those two are inseparable. They're just the cutest little two, and they both have the exact same personality. Just sweet, sweet, sweet babies. And I love you. I love Dreamer. And she's also Dinky's mama, huh? Alright, this young lady here is Vogue. Vogue is at a quads. She's a full sister to Vader, one of our bucks. She's a little doll baby. So she, I love you. She's actually from some really, really awesome lines. National show winning lines, and just really, really excited about this doe. She did really, really good in this year's rings, didn't you? So she ended up taking a grand champion win and a reserve grand champion win. And, you know, it was kind of last second I decided to take her to the last show that we attended. And I was just like, she's looking really, really gorgeous. And I'm glad I took her because the judges thought the same. But anyway, she is 1 year old. So she's, last year she was just too small. She was out of quads, and she was just little. I just didn't feel comfortable breeding her, so I didn't breed her last year, but this year will be her first time being bred. So we will go into that here in just a little bit once I get to the littler does and what I'm looking for as far as whether I feel safe enough to breed them. Alright, now we are on to Made It. Now, Made It is a daughter of Maddie, and she's a granddaughter of May. Made It here was born the same year Vogue was, so last year, and she just was not thriving, kind of right off the jump. So she took a long time to actually get to where she was just doing super well and healthy, but we stayed with her, and that's why she's called, that's why her name is Made It, because there was a lot of times we definitely didn't think she was going to, so it was really cool that she did. And she's gorgeous now. She definitely just, finally, when she got over that hurdle, she just blossomed. She just really got a lot of build on her, and she grew really well. And this year she will be ready to be bred. And again, last year I didn't breed her. She was just too little. So excited to see how Little Miss Made It does, what her little babies look like. She was born, and I was hoping that she wouldn't sell, because I can't keep them all, you know, that's Derek's rule. But I was really hoping that nobody would want her. And it just turned out, I wasn't hoping that she'd get sick or anything and I'd have to care for her, but it did end up that way, and I ended up keeping her anyway, so lovely doe. Now we are finally on to the 9 little doelings. We only have 9 more to do. We've done 19 goats. That's a lot, Dinky. And this is little Miss Dinky here. She is 7 months old. Now, she was the first one born. A lot of you probably remember her. We almost lost her. She was tiny when she was born, and at night, and of course it was a cold night, she just got separated from her mom and sisters, and I found her in the morning just huddled up next to, I love you, next to the water bucket, just kind of frozen solid, could hardly move, but I could see there was a little bit of life left in her. But anyway, here she is, killing it. Doing amazing, aren't you? She's a doll. I love her. Definitely a fighter. And she don't take no crap. And she just ate and ate and ate and ate like crazy, so she really, really caught up with her tiny itty bitty size. I mean, she could fit in the palm of my hand when she was born. Just itty bitty, itty bitty. And so as far as her size is concerned, you know, because I like to breed them at 7 months old. I don't like to wait. I feel like you really, I'm sorry, it's true. I'm sorry. But I don't like to wait because they lose a lot of development waiting until they're 2 years old, or almost 2, or 2 years old kind of when you would breed them, or when they would be having babies rather. So I don't like to wait. They put on weight very easily. It's less healthy for them. I know that seems weird, but it is definitely less healthy for a dairy animal not to be bred annually. And I would rather not wait. Now, if I did have to wait, if they're not to size, of course, I'm not going to risk the life of the animal just because I'm hoping to have a good productive doe. You don't like this conversation right now, huh? I haven't told her yet. I love you. But so some of the things I'm looking at, and these goaties are my babies. I always get nervous with the first fresheners. I always have a knot in my stomach with the first freshener. Always, 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 always. Even if I know darn well. I've never chosen incorrectly, if you will, as far as the size and them being of age and good weight and good width and good everything. And I'm going to show you guys that here in a second. So I've always done really well with it. I never had any issues with the first freshener, other than maybe some tangled up kids or whatever, but never not able to pass the kids. So, the things I'm looking for, and Dinky will be doling number 1, I'll show you, if I can get camera boy to come back here. For starters, I want to have them 35 to 40 pounds by the time I breed. And Miss Dinky here, believe it or not, is 33 pounds. We're a couple weeks off, so she could very well get to that weight and no issues and even clear it by then, the way she eats. But what I'm looking for, and she's standing funky right now. She's nervous. She's, not real familiar on the stand. Girl, can I have you just stand? Okay, so what I'm looking for, here's your hip bones, and right here are their pin bones. So these pin bones, you put your thumb, and ideally, yeah, like I can barely reach it. Ideally, you don't have any room to find, or you don't have any room up here, sorry, like in between your fingers. Like if I was like this, and that were the pin bones, I would absolutely not even consider breeding a doeling that thin. So you're wanting good width. Now, the reason I look at the pin bones is because that's where that's the width of the canal that the kid is going to be passing through. Now, mind you, this doe here still has 5 months. If I bred her today, she still is going to grow and develop for 5 months, and that is a lot. That's quite a lot of time. So again, getting these pin bones here, and I have to use my thumb and my middle finger, and I kind of have to stretch to actually get to it. And that is one of the reasons I am always so particular about width. When I see width, I want to see it big and wide, and again, she's much more pretty. She's never hawked in like this naturally. She's just a little nervous as to what's going on. But yeah, that's why I'm so big on width. And then another thing here, rump. Here, let's show how pretty a rump really is. You are not like that. So from hip bones here to pin bones, this is the rump. You want to see a nice, good space there. Like I can put my whole hand there. That's a nice, large area for her rump, for her age. So I'm really, I gotta say, I'm 99% sure that I would be breeding her in a couple weeks. I haven't decided, and I'm not going to put anything in stone with these ones yet because I have a couple weeks, so I can do that. But I'm pretty sure she's going to be good to go. So those are the things I look for. And then one more thing. Sorry, camera boy. The depth of the body. Now, that's another thing I love in my herd. I love that deep body, you know. Are they going to have a bunch of space to make babies? Now, it seems weird. This girl is almost the size of Lodi. So, and Lodi passed her baby just fine, and she's doing great. So, and she's not going to get any bigger. Lodi isn't. She is done growing. I can absolutely tell. But that is what it is. So those are the things I look for. We're going to get Dinky coppered, seleniumed, wormed, and her hooves trimmed, and then we'll get the next goat, and then I'll show you what I think on that one. Now, if you can't tell on the look of this one's face who she is, who her mama is, she always has the same look as Lodi, and this here is baby Lodi, Lodi's baby, her first, and she just had one, and she ended up turning into a chocolate, and she did not stay black like she was when she was born, but she's just gorgeous. I love this doe. She's super funny, has the same personality as her mom, like when we go for walks and stuff. She just wants to be right there next to you like she's your little bodyguard, so super cute. But as far as Lodi here, she's 7 months old as well, and should we take a look and see if you're white enough? She weighs 32 pounds, so she's right there. She's doing real good on weight. But back here, let's see. Now she definitely, and they get it from Lacey, just that super deep body. Love it. So she's got good body capacity for sure for her age. And her hip bones down to her thurl. All right, let me see. Let me find them. Right there and there. And yeah, I got no room here, so she's good and wide. I feel really, really good about that. Which I didn't have any question about this one and her width, because she's just, again, it's in her line. She's just super wide, super awesome. And again, she's really close to the weight and super deep bodied. She's got a lot. She would stand. The babies are so nervous on the stand. Hey girl, that's enough. It's okay. That's enough. I just want to show them, okay? Okay, she's not gonna let me, but her you stinker. I'm trying to get her. There we go. But yeah, she's got a lot of rump there as well. So feeling pretty confident this girl's gonna be good to go for breeding. Kind of the same confidence I had with Dinky. I mean, again, I don't like holding back if I don't have to, and so at this point, more than likely Dinky, and probably definitely Lodi here. And we're up to Tippy. Miss Tippy here. She's actually one of my favorites to stare at, because she has got a body like a limousine, man. She is just gorgeous and so smoothly put together and super deep bodied. She's a Merle baby, which means she's a May granddaughter. Ain't that right? Yep, up in your face kind of granddaughter, huh? You just want to eat my hat? Takes them a while to get used to the stand. But Tippy's the quiet girl. She's a sweet baby. And again, just when I love looking at her. She's just so pretty. Especially out browsing. On the move, on the move, on the move. Yep. All right, so this girl here is 33 pounds. She's good, aren't you? And with that length of body and the depth of body that she has, yeah, she's super solid there as far as breeding is concerned. So let's see her width. All right, well, for starters, you can see her rump. And she's not standing like a creature or anything. She's not too nervous on the stand like the other girls have been. But she's got so much room right there on her rump. Super good. And then her thurls. Oh yeah, I almost have to move. So with this girl, I kind of have to move barely, but I do have to kind of move back and forth to get both of my fingers on those thurls. So she is super solid there. I feel confident that this girl is going to be totally good to breed, so that's exciting. I love her. Can't wait to see these kids. Okay, so now we are down to just the last few does, and this here is Miss Daisy. This is a Dawn daughter, and she's gorgeous. She's by far the largest of all of them. She's kind of out of the little 9 juniors. She's definitely in charge. You know, a little herd queen in the 9 juniors, aren't you, baby? So she is, you know, kind of has the herd queen mentality as far as with the little ones, and she holds her own against the big ones too. They all really do, to be honest. They're all doing really well with the big does, but this one didn't really faze her much at all. So this girl is 48 pounds, so she's definitely surpasses the weight requirement, and she, I mean, just looking at her, I know she's deep-bodied enough. I know her width is super awesome and solid, but we're gonna put our hands on her just to make sure. What do you think? Pretty girl. So, as you can see, super deep bodied. I mean, she's not lacking in the depth there. Her rump, let's find her pins right, or her hip bones. Now her rump starts here, and I gotta move it. It's like a hand and a half wide, so she is good with the rump. Her pins, where are they? Here, you're standing funny, girl. Let's find your pins. Okay. I'll put my middle finger, my thumb, and I actually have to move to get to them. So Miss Daisy absolutely is a good candidate for being bred this year. Okay, so we have Betsy right here, this pretty girl. Betsy is just super flashy and stunning. I just love this doe. She is gorgeous. So she's also 7 months, and she is 37 pounds. So she is good to go on weight. Feeling really good about that. And so as far as Betsy's personality is concerned, she can be kind of a talker, kind of a stinker, and she is the one who has been testing the fence, the electric fence. So I'm going to check her width and all of that, but I'm really was hoping that I'm going to be able to breed her, just so hopefully get to breed her for a couple months, and then by the time she's done, she'll have calmed down, be a little bit older, ain't that right, and maybe not test the fence, because we need her to respect that fence. Ain't that right, girl? So let's check her. As far as body depth is concerned, she is definitely good there. She's good. And then her, here, come here, babies. The girls really don't like this stand. They have been on the stand multiple times, but they act like it's just the scariest thing ever holding them in here. Alright, so her pins, or her hip bones. Alright, so that's her rump. So actually, she's got a little extra of hand. And then let's find her pins. Okay, so there's her pin. I got that one and that one. And kind of, not too much, but I kind of have to move to get to the other one. So as far as width is concerned, thorough to thorough, she's good. So that actually really excites me. That I feel good. I think Betsy's gonna be good to go. Now we are on to little Birdie. Birdie here is 7 months old. She's a full sister to Betsy, so she's another legend daughter, and she only weighed out, well, she weighed out to 33 pounds, so she's doing pretty good, and she is a little bit different body-wise. It's funny how that works, because Betsy has like just kind of a little bit different body conformation than Birdie here. Birdie's more length. I don't know, she just has more length to her, and she's not quite as deep-bodied. She's still really nicely deep-bodied, but just not as well as Betsy. Betsy's more of just kind of a compacted little powerhouse. So it's just funny. Again, full sisters, and they can still have different body conformations. So 33 pounds. So her weight's solid, but let's go ahead and check out her width. Let's check you, girl. So she's got good belly, good depth. It's hard. I hope you guys can see this because they move around. They just don't like to stand yet. Alright, so let me see here. Let's see your rump. There's her hips, pins. Alright, hips. Right there. She's got really actually a long rump. So just a little bit more than a hand. And then let's find your pins. Right here and here. Now, there's no space. I do not have to move whatsoever to touch them. So more than, I mean, yeah, she's probably good to go. You think you're good to go, Birdie? Your sister's a little bit wider, but she's also weighs a little bit more than you, huh? So Birdie just kind of leaves to herself. She's not real, social or anything as far as yakking a lot and all that good stuff, but she's a good doe. She's a good girl, huh? She's a sweetie too. Now we have our third to last doe, Miss Ruger. She is 7 years old. She is not. I'm tired. It's been a long day. She's 7 months old. She never grew. She's really old. Anyway, Ruger is 7 months old. Now, Ruger just weighed out at 29 pounds. I will not be breeding her. And she actually, when she was born, we kind of just, she was with one of the skittish goats, was her mom, and she was very secretive, not giving any signs that she was in labor. And so I went in, cooked dinner, came out to check her, and she had 3 kids on the ground, and this one was in a sack. So I actually just caught her, and she wasn't even attending to her or nothing. So I caught her just in time, and she was in that sack probably longer than she should have been. But I got her all cleaned up, and it took a while, a couple days before she would even actually stand on her feet. So the fact that she's doing so well and growing so well, and all of those, all of that to take into consideration, she's still doing really well, but she's not going to be able to be bred this year. So she is long-bodied. I do love that about her, and she's got good depth for the little girl that she is. That's fine. So she's got a nice rump size, a little bit longer than one of my hands. And then as far as thorough to thorough, yeah, see, now this one, if you come behind, bub, thorough to thorough, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I have space here. I'm not all the way down and have to move a little. There's her thurls, and you can see right through my hand. So she is not someone, not a doe I would feel safe breeding at all. So, looks like you don't get to breed this season, Ruger. Sorry. Okay, so now we are on to Little Miss Ray. She is definitely the smallest of the bunch by looking, and she weighed 30 pounds, so she's actually a pound heavier than her full sister, who is Ruger. And how funny how different they look, right? But, so obviously she's 7 months old as well, and she's, again, 30 pounds, and she looks really small, so she's not one I really even was thinking I was going to be able to breed, but we're going to check. She's really pretty and deep-bodied, though, so we're going to check her width and just see. Now, Ray here, she is a talker, and so is Ruger, man, but these two full sisters, they love to like all day, every time they see us. And now you're being so quiet. That's probably the quietest you'll ever see her, ever. Ain't that right, girl? Let's check your width. As far as how little she is, she still does have a good developed deep body. I do like her body conformation. So let's see, her little rump here, there's your pins, is, yeah, barely a hand. Barely a hand. Honestly, maybe even just a little less. And thorough to thorough, she is definitely not ready. So look, oh my gosh, that was my little fingers here. Now I gotta find Jake, and let me get you standing normal. Let's see, come around from the back. You guys can see, there's her thurls, and you can see light through, well, let me move that tail. So she's standing weird, but yeah, I don't have to move. They're right there, and I can make a rainbow with my hand there that, you know. So definitely, this little lady is not going to be bred. You're still cute, though. Okay, guys, our last goat that we have to put on the stand today. It has been such a long day. We started this early morning. It's dinner time. Just in enough time to go chore for the goats, right? Anyway, so here is Wildie. She is actually 6.5 months. She was born early April, and she's one of the larger of the does, so she's really beautiful. Now, I got her actual name on the papers is Wild Card, and we just nicknamed her Wildie. You're stepping on my toe, girl. My toe. Yeah. That's my thumb. Hilarious. I don't even know what body parts I have anymore. So anyway, she I don't remember what I was saying, but she's a lovely, lovely doe. Now, she came from Dragonfly, and the Dragonfly herd, that's the herd name that she came from. I initially wanted 2, so when Derek was traveling, delivering all of the babies, I was like, go get me one of those does. So I was lucky enough to get 1 doe, and another one just wasn't able, just didn't get born in enough time to where she'd be old enough, like little Wildie here, to be able to safely travel. So we ended up only getting 1, but that's okay. I'm really, really excited about adding her lines into this herd. Really? And she's funny, she's quirky, and she's lovely. So again, really excited to add her bloodlines. And I just think she's just such an elegant doe, so just neat. It's going to be neat to see her incorporated with the lines that I've been breeding and working so hard on. So she is the only junior that wasn't born here on our ranch. So let's check out her width. Wildie, oh my goodness, girl. Here. Let me get some stuff in there. Your belly's round enough. Big old round belly. Okay, so as far as right now, she's really round. It looks more round than deep, but she does have good depth. I do like her depth. Just beautiful top line. All right, so here's her hips here, and that actually, look at that rump. So from her hips right there. Nice. So her rump is good. Oh, I forgot to mention, you guys, she is 33 pounds. Well, she looks heavier than that. So let's see her thurls. Let's see. There it is, and there it is. Yeah, I really got to stretch to touch those and kind of have to move a little, really. But yeah, she is good thurl to thurl. Love that. So, yes, she is one of the younger ones, but she is developed very, very nicely. And I'm gonna breed this one as well. So really, you guys, that's only 2 of the juniors that I don't feel comfortable breeding, the 2 sisters, Ruger and Ray. And I expected that because they are the smallest of the bunch. It is what it is. I don't want to hold off, but you know, there's always that perk too. Next year, they will be the older does in a show ring. If they go to the show, they'll be the older junior does, which just means they haven't had babies, they don't have an udder, so they're still a junior. And it's more likely for an older junior doe to win in one of those shows. So there is that side, but I don't like them losing the development if we don't have to. So out of the 9, we got 7 that I'm confident that I'm gonna breed. And as I do, I can change my mind if I feel like it, but for now, that's probably what's going to happen. These 7 lovely juniors will be bred. So other than Lacey, the senior does, because she's retired, we're breeding everybody else as well, all the senior does. So really, really excited. I'm going to be breeding here very soon. I haven't finalized my breeding plans just yet, so you guys are going to have to wait on that. It's pretty much done, but not fully done. So still working on that and thinking through and making a couple changes here and there. So again, you guys, it's been a really long day. My back is hurting. I want to go wash my hands and my face, and we will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day. Hey guys, if you are still watching, we just wanted to say thank you so much to all of our loyal viewers, and we wanted to offer you a code to our Etsy shop to get some soap at a discounted price. As far as the soaps are concerned, we have sold out of the varieties again because you guys are just so amazing. We do have one new variety that we are going to be putting up, and it is our pumpkin pie soap. It is just lovely. Wonderful. It has like orange bubbles, and it is just amazing for the skin. Turns out pumpkin is really great for the skin, so you guys should check this out. It smells really good. It's a great bar. And of course, we're gonna restock our rose clay, our honey oat, and our white gold, because those are just big sellers. Beyond that, because the varieties have been selling so quickly, we have been on top of it, Alexa and I. So we real soon, like in the next couple of weeks,
or probably more like 3 weeks, we're gonna have just a lot of varieties for you guys. A lot of really pretty bars coming out, and I'm super excited to show them to all of you. So again, use that code because you guys are awesome. We want to say thank you and take care. See you soon.